This is your 1017 The Truth News Update.
Hello, everyone. This is Ray Riley with your news update. Felony charges in the death of his son. 34-year-old Christopher Sloan of Milwaukee faces 6 felonies, including second-degree reckless homicide and homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle in the death of his 5-year-old son, Jalen. Sloan crashed his car into 2 legally parked cars and a tree head-on last Friday night near 81st and Hampton. Witnesses say he was speeding and weaving through traffic before the crash. Sloan tried to fight with the first responders before he was taken to the hospital and then arrested. 5-year-old Jalen died from his injuries at the hospital the next morning. His twin brother was also injured but will be okay. Both children were found in the front seat of the car without seat belts. According to officials, Sloan had a blood alcohol level 3 times legal limit, and he was found without a valid driver's license. He remains in custody on a $200,000 bond. 13 Milwaukee public schools are being considered for closure or mergers. If this goes through, the north side of the city would be the most impacted. The district hired an outside consultant to study long-term facility planning. Nate Morris of Perkins Eastman presented a progress report on Tuesday night's board meeting.
Research shows that when districts are, implementing closures, they often disproportionately impact communities that are already underserved or marginalized or already suffering. And we really want to be thoughtful about these from the start and as we go through it and work with the stakeholders and community.
If the board approves, closures would happen over several years, starting in 2026. A list of schools which will be impacted by this has not been released. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on the new 1017 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of adjustment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and the Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. I always get teased. It's the number. I get mocked and all that. So I don't know. Is it me or is it darker in here? Wait a minute. Okay, that's more like it. So my computer was on. Really?
Well, I had the lights down earlier.
What'd you have the lights down for?
Getting spooky.
Yeah, I was having a party. Spooky? 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 So here's the question. Do you celebrate Halloween?
Guess it depends on how you define celebrate.
That's the dumbest answer I've ever heard in my life. That's depends on how you define celebrate. That sounds like a Dr. Ken answer. You're not supposed to be answering
with logic and common sense. What's wrong with you? Like what? You're supposed to answer like somebody that's in their 20s. That's a good answer. Do you celebrate Halloween? I don't know. I don't really care. I'm not a big Halloween celebrator. Celebrating death and ghouls and goblins. Makes no sense. But I'll ask that question later, because I was having a conversation with somebody earlier, and they were talking about, they just made an offhand remark that kind of, it didn't make me pop off. It didn't make me pop off, but it's going to make me cut up. So the question was, and the question I have for you, should I tell the story first and then the question, or ask the question and then tell the story? Ain't nobody listening. They're just doing what they do. So should I tell the story first, then ask the question? Or should I ask the question and then tell the story?
I would say ask the question and then tell the story.
Really?
You don't think so?
I don't know. I'm going to ask that. Why do you think I'm asking? I don't know.
I think because then like it'll get a story more context.
So ask the question, then tell the story.
Yeah.
So will black people ever overcome losses in just about every arena of life in America?
Will we overcome it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We've been waiting. Like 1965 was 100 years. So, what is it? Plus 50? 55? I don't know. 2025 from 1965, right? So, what are we waiting on? Right? A few years, we'll be coming up on 200 years. Like, what exactly are we waiting on? I had a conversation with somebody, and we were looking at, we just happened to be sitting in the 3rd Street Market. And Fiserv, the company, is like right there. And they made the comment, why are people always walking by? Where are these people coming from? And I said, they're coming from Fiserv. And they asked the same question everybody else asked. Well, are you talking about are you talking about what was it they said? They said some other company, and I said, no, this is Fiserv. I said, what do you mean? I was like, financial services, Fiserv. Oh, that's what that means. Yeah, that's what Fiserv means, financial service. They're in the financial services area. And like, well, when you say financial services, I'm like, I mean everything. Like if you look up Fiserv and the subsidiaries they own, with the credit card companies and the electronics, all the stuff that anybody in financial services, from a bank to a mutual fund, might need with technology, Fiserv can do it. If you owe money and then you got to go get your money, like recovery, they can do it. So they're out there, right? They're like, wow. And then I said, they started here in Milwaukee. They're like, really? It's like, yeah, started in Milwaukee. And they was like, when? And they came up with some number that was like, so what, they're like 50, 60 years old? And I said, no. And they just kind of looked at me like, well, what? And I said, they started like July something, 1984. They're like, what? I said, yeah. Like it's publicly traded. I think their stock price today was like $190.70 or something, or whatever. It was around in there. And the company's worth $17.7 billion. And that's when they said, will black people ever, will we ever be able to do that? And before I could answer, they said, no. will never make up that loss. I was like, well, what do you mean? They said black people will never overcome and make up the loss that we lost after slavery. Like, when you think about the linchpin, it was Brown versus the Board of Education. They cut up our schools. They messed up everything, just got jacked, and we've never recovered. They put all black kids in in public schools, and we've been doing terribly ever since. I was like, wow. But I believe, like you, Jason, I think we'll, in the near future, make it. I think we'll overcome. I think there's hope. Not in the presidential election, but in local government, there's hope. Because no matter what you think, we're not going to make it. We'll never become that. You can achieve whatever you decide you want to achieve. And if you decide that you can't make it, you're not going to make it. I'm trying to think. Was it Henry Ford or somebody that said, if you think you're right or if you think you're wrong? No. If you think you can or if you think you can't, you're right. That's what that is. We have a series of black people who don't think they can make it. I don't know if you was watching TV last night, but I was up till 11 o'clock midnight watching the Yankees and the Dodgers play. And you know what I learned from the Yankees? I learned the same thing about baseball that I learned about life. It don't matter how hard you play, don't matter how far you are ahead, no matter what, no lead is ever safe.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 101.7 The Truth.
Get ready for a breath of fresh air with Community Heartbeat, your go-to show for health and wellness in our vibrant city. Presented by Outreach Community Health Centers and hosted by me, Sherwin Hughes. Tune in this Saturday at 10 a.m. as we take you on a journey toward a healthier Milwaukee. Community Heartbeat is not just a show, it's a movement dedicated to bringing our community together through wellness. We've got expert interviews, inspiring stories, and the inside scoop on local events from Outreach Community Health Centers that will keep your heart pumping with positivity.
The Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, we're talking about up to $5 million, which for small business owners, we need that. That's like payroll, that's resources. So can you just let us know, what is the program and why is this lending program so important to Old National Bank?
Years ago, our CEO, Jim Ryan, this program is his brainchild. He was working with Roland Shelton, who you know, Denise, out of Evansville, and they identified that African-American business owners, Hispanic business owners, Native American business owners, as well as women business owners had a difficult time in obtaining financing from the traditional credit partners. And so we went out, created a program, launched it last year, 2023. And so far last year, we have helped over 100 successful minority and women-owned businesses with about $25 million in loans. We've already started this year with almost $8 million in approvals, again, geared toward minority business owners and women business owners that normally had difficulties in obtaining traditional credit finance.
The Greater Milwaukee Urban League Ball is sold out, but you can still join in the fun and support the work of the Urban League. Participate in a special online silent auction of great prizes and experiences. Auction items include a night at Milwaukee St. Kate Hotel, an autographed Packers football, baseball, hockey, and soccer tickets, and a special evening at Lake Park Bistro. Go to the Urban League's website and click on the black and white ball tab. Visit tmul.org. Let the bidding begin.
Sybaris Pool Suites. Romantic, luxurious, affordable. A place where romance touches paradise and the memories of a lifetime are made. Sybaris offers a variety of room styles, including the exquisite Chalet Suite, which spans 3 levels and features your own private swimming pool with cascading waterfall, soothing whirlpool tub, a cozy fireplace, and much more to make your stay unforgettable. They are located in Mequon, just north of Milwaukee. Take a virtual tour at Sybaris.com.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Американская фирма Transceptor Technology приступила к производству компьютеров «Персональный спутник».
sometimes you don't want to even turn off the music. It's just, hey. Okay, let me quit. I don't want nobody to know I can dance. 833-212-1017 is the number. Will black people overcome the losses in just about every arena in life and win? I say yes. If you saw the baseball game last night, y'all, did you see the baseball game last night? Man, you missed the best game I have seen. It was number 2 to game 1 this year. Game 1 was like fire. Game 2, smoke. This one moved game 2 out of. Dude, I looked up, Yankees was up 5-0 to the 5th inning. Smoked one, smoked it. By the way, the Yankees pitcher he had ice in his veins, dude. He was like, smoke 1, smoke 2, smoke 3, hit a couple of he's like, strike, foul, strike, boom. Next, strike, foul, strike. I was like, oh my gosh. I think the Yankees might smoke them this game. And you saw errors that didn't make any sense at all. You saw the Yankees make errors on simple stuff. You know how you go to catch the ball and you're an outfielder, so you catch the ball and you're running in stride. So he kind of slowed down because he was going to catch it and then throw it home because there was somebody on base, and he dropped the ball. I was like, what? It like popped off his glove.
So they was choking, basically.
Oh, man. No, they wasn't choking. It was like punk moves. It was like watching I hate to say this, the Hilltoppers play everybody else in the state. It was like, ouch. Like you cringe and you kind of hold your own, and the other team is in the lead, and then y'all just dust them. Or they just make a stupid mistake. Like if you're playing football and you kick the ball off and the guy calls for fair catch and then he drops the ball. Or the pitcher, right? You can only go off two times, and then you got to pitch. Well, he threw to first base twice, and then he should have pitched. He went to go throw to first base, and he realized that he had just balked, and that advanced the runners. And then somebody came out and went, pow! And it was that. And then all of a sudden, and that's with 2 outs. They had 2 outs in the 5th. And they let him come in and smoke them. And then they tied up the game, and it was 5-5 in the 5th. I was like, huh? And then they just made some stupid mistakes. The second one where they got somebody on base and the guy, well, you know, when the ball is off and the first baseman runs to get it, the pitcher is supposed to cover first. Pitcher didn't lead him out. The pitcher's pointing, run to the bag, because he wasn't there. And the pitcher stood up and he just looked like the first baseman was like, really? And the guy was safe. I was like, this is like watching professionals play a sandlot softball team. Not a baseball, a softball team. It was bad. It was bad. The Yankees looked like they had just started playing baseball. They looked like they were an expansion team. It was bad. And they were in New York? Oh.
I know, that's the embarrassing part. Like, and you know New York fan base is crazy.
And they was up late. Like, I looked at my watch, and it was like 10:35. I was like, it's almost midnight in New York, and they about to lose. Oh, my goodness. But that was like 5-5, and then they went up 7-6. And I just went, yeah. And then it came, and the Yankees were up, bottom of the 9th. They got him, 1, 2, 3, and that was it. I was like, wow. That was embarrassing. I was embarrassed for New York. I thought New York would have put on a better show. And in the beginning, they did. They were hitting home runs. They was rocking. I was like, they rocked this pitcher. They had to pull him out. They rocked this Dodger. Oh, we got one of the best pitchers. He's supposed to pitch again in Game 7. Nah, he wasn't finishing the first inning, dude. He got smoked. So, yeah, it was interesting. But I digress. It's a lot you can learn from that. You know, in my open, I was talking about the fact that you've got a company like Fiserv, that's a local company that has built itself into a $17 billion company. Now, it's not like, you know, Facebook or, Meta or, you know, one of those couple $1 trillion companies. I think Apple is worth like $3 trillion or something. Yeah, it's not that. But if you started that company in 1984 and it's 2024 and it's like 50 years later and you're making $17 billion a year, you're worth $17.7 billion, I could get with that. But if you don't think that black people can do that, I think we can. But in the same vein, I understand why people think that, because we in our mindset have been taught to think that we have to wait on either, I don't know what it is, being given something or asking permission to be something. Like we're always so inclusive, and I just don't understand that. Nobody ever includes us in anything. But now we want to be inclusive. Like you're really doing me. Like you actually think you're so arrogant that you're doing black people a favor. And the only person that can do it is you. I don't know. But I digress. Do you celebrate Halloween?
I mean, I don't know about celebrate. We didn't celebrate it growing up. Like my family, real church. But I mean, I like to partake, go to a party or something. What's
your definition of celebrate?
Like tonight, I'm going to the movies to watch the scary movie.
Like what?
It's called Terrifier 3.
Y'all see my head down on YouTube, right?
There's some parties going on too that I just don't know if I'm gonna go. Like I don't want to be all. I don't like being in the mix.
But what are you celebrating when you celebrate Halloween?
That's what I just don't know. Like I grew up.
What do you mean you don't know? You grown man, you know?
Well, because like my family, I grew up, this was the devil holiday. I'm not gonna lie to you. But as I got older, I'm like, okay, I guess. I mean, I see the trick-or-treating, but I don't really know what's the point of Halloween. I don't know what Halloween is supposed to represent. Like I know Christmas, obviously, the season of giving and was honoring Jesus' birthday. We got that, but I don't know what Halloween is supposed to represent.
Halloween is All Hallows Eve, also known as Halloween. It's a Christian holiday, but it's not. That's what AI says. See how AI will screw you up and mess you up? It's the day before All Saints Day, All Hallows Eve, because All Saints Day is a hallowed day. So All Hallows Eve, and now they call it Halloween. But hallowed means holy or sanctified. So it's just All Hallows Eve. The problem is All Saints Day, we got to act a fool before we get to All Saints Day and do the right thing and, you know, be all nice for the saints and the martyrs and the faithfully departed. But the night before, we're going to act a fool. And so that's what Halloween became. They started acting a fool. So churches would hold vigils. Like on New Year's Eve, they would hold the same type of vigil on Halloween. And then people started trick-or-treating, and a tradition that may have originated from the British practice of soul cakes, where the poor would beg for food. Then they had parties and costumes and jack-o'-lanterns and all that stuff. And then it became really weird and macabre and, you know, the supernatural and all that, dead people and skeletons. And I don't really. Now it's a secular holiday that.
Because my auntie, she like 70-something. And she was saying when she was growing up, like Halloween, like you was saying, it was weird. Like it was creepy. Like her dad was the pastor. They couldn't even go outside on Halloween. Like they had to stay in the crib because of all the crazy stuff that would go on.
Yep. It was like the Purge. I'm kidding. You go outside.
I was over here believing you too. I'm like, that's crazy.
It's like the Purge. We're going to come get people. Jason. Were you a good boy this year, Jason? Yeah, but I just don't get why people celebrate Halloween. Like, literally. I don't get it.
It's cool for the kids. They get to go trick-or-treat and get the...
Well, not really. 833-212-1017. Is it, though? Is it, though? You ever see Night of the Living Dead? No, you saw the new one. You didn't see the 1968.
Because that sounds so familiar.
Yeah, they you know, y'all remake everything. They remade it. It's just, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand Halloween. Maybe it's me, but I don't get the whole Halloween thing. If you celebrate Halloween, let me know. 833-212-1017. What's the big deal with Halloween? What is the big deal with Halloween? I don't get it. I mean, you see, it's really crowded in here. All the people are calling and complaining. People are like, I don't give a flip about Halloween. I'm telling you, it's just one of those things that I don't really take seriously, and it comes and it goes, and it, you know. Here's the question I really want to know after traffic and weather and sports. Here's what I really want to know, right? What are you afraid of? Like, we talk about Halloween, and then people, well, you know, it's a scary night. Yeah, but what are you actually afraid of? When we come back, I'm gonna tell you what I'm afraid of. And I think I've said it before, but in a moment of vulnerability, I will tell you what I am actually afraid of. The question is, will you call 833-212-1017 and tell me what you're afraid of first?
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Sometimes it takes a breakdown to have a breakthrough. And at Vin Baker Recovery, they understand the power of having real support while you're on that journey to recovery. This is why at Vin Baker Recovery, they customize treatment plans specific for your needs. Vin Baker Recovery provides our community and anyone looking for help with access to mental health care and recovery support, helping you treat addiction. So whether opioid abuse, alcohol, or other controlled substances, Vin Baker Recovery helps you get back to the lifestyle that you know will be the best option for your future. Vin Baker Recovery offers licensed counseling and therapy services to curb the mental health problems that have been impacting our communities for far too long. They provide services like medication-assisted treatment, outpatient care, and hub and spoke services with peer support. So what are you waiting for? Vin Baker Recovery accepts walk-ins and appointments. It's just that easy. Just visit VinBakerRecovery.com. That's VinBakerRecovery.com. They're here to help you win the day.
My name is Anton Moore. Around here, we have hardworking people that just need a break. Whether it's investing in small businesses or making housing affordable, Vice President Harris gets it.
Kamala Harris is making sure black men have the tools to build generational wealth. She'll put a policy in place that gives 1 million forgivable loans to help entrepreneurs, including black entrepreneurs, start their own businesses. She also plans to give $25,000 in down payment assistance for first-time homeowners and crack down on racial bias in home appraisals. Harris's plan will help black men own more assets so we can build long-term wealth.
This is what an investment in my community looks like. We're trying to build generational wealth. No get-rich-quick schemes, no scams, no one-time check, none of that. Vice President Harris got our back. I'll be there on November 5th. Will you be there?
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
There's something about a plate of warm cookies that sends you back in time. Relive your childhood memories with this year's We Energies Cookie Book. Pick up your copy and start creating new memories. Go to WeEnergies.com to find a distribution event near you. Thank you for making us a part of your family traditions. From all of us at We Energies, we offer you warm wishes for a bright holiday season. This message was paid for by the stockholders of WEC Energy Group.
Right now, more than 100,000 children waiting in foster care need our help. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is focused on finding them safe, permanent homes. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
It's Marketplace, Wisconsin, the Governor's Conference on Diverse Business Development. December 11th and 12th at the Baird Center in Milwaukee. Register at marketplacewisconsin.com.
Seriously injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today.
Here at the new 1017 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's Black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection of our community. We look forward to celebrating Black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 1017 The Truth, founded by American Family Insurance. Milwaukee Black Talk.
We do have some delays still out there. We've got westbound 94 backing up from the Marquette all the way to Hawley Road. Eastbound's backing up from 76th Street through the Stadium interchange as well. Heads up, we have the left lane blocked in each direction on Highway 59 right at Miller Parkway or Brewers Boulevard. That intersection right there, there's a crash, so they're dealing with that, and both left lanes in either direction of Highway 59 closed off. Southbound on 41, also seeing delays from about Silver Spring down past Capitol Drive. Southbound 43 a little bit heavy from Fond du Lac Avenue down through the Marquette interchange. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight. Calming wind, clearing skies. Low of 37 at the lake, 32 inland. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 52. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 1017 The Truth.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on the award-winning 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Kyle Wallace. The Green Bay Packers return to the practice field again today, and franchise quarterback Jordan Love was an active participant in practice. Missing from practice was starting cornerback Jair Alexander and starting safety Evan Williams. The Packers take on divisional rival the Detroit Lions on Sunday for a battle for first place in the NFC North. The Milwaukee Bucks return to the hardwood tonight after a couple days off. They are on the road in Memphis as they take on the Grizzlies. The Bucks are looking to end their 3-game losing streak tonight, and tip-off is set for 7 p.m. and can be heard on our sister station, 620 WTMJ. This True Sports Update was brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. You can hit us on the talk and text line or the YouTube chat. You know what? Let me do this. Since y'all be talking trash all the time, let me just I'm logging into the YouTube chat, so when people want to talk trash, I can talk trash back. I'm just saying. Yeah, silly. Somebody said, you look cute on the YouTube machine. Really? It's a YouTube machine now? Like, really? It's a YouTube machine. I go, really? The YouTube. So, let me do this so I can log on so people can, so if you got an issue or a problem or a scream or, come on, hurry up. There we go. Do you have like 2-factor authentication?
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like 2-factor.
You should just give somebody your password and let them go.
I understand that point, but that'd be so frustrating. Then I get to the point where I can't even log in my own stuff. I'm calling Apple, calling all these places.
You don't have a password saver on your phone?
But sometimes that don't be working.
How does it not work? It's on your phone.
Because sometimes it be saying the wrong password when I know I updated
because
the password.
you updated and you didn't change it.
I know I did, and I know I clicked save. I'm trying to tell you. Like the technology, man.
It's not technology, it's user error. And you know it is. Like, I don't know why you tripping. User error. That's what it is. User error. And it's okay. I do it too. You just think you're so smart and so young. I could never mess up technology. Oh my God. Never.
It's my technology. I grew up with this.
Actually, it's not yours. We created it. You made it better. No, actually, y'all didn't make it better.
No,
you just use it more. How? How'd you make it better?
Technology. We using technology the way we use it.
Look. I ain't your bro.
What we are doing with it. We don't got to go to no library and go fish through all these books just to find information. Nah. Now,
it's a tool. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
What do you mean? We are using, like, this is what I mean. We are using, we have it, like my auntie, for example,
and y'all,
70.
And y'all dumber than every other generation before you. Y'all don't know nothing. Don't want to work, lazy, don't want to go to school.
Depends on how you define dumb.
I just defined you as lazy. Like, we know what that is. Not you, but your generation.
No, I feel it. I can see that some of us lazy, but not. I don't think the majority of us lazy. I think the
majority of y'all lazy. And that every now and then you get surprised by a few hard workers because it rubs off. Prove to me I'm wrong.
No, I think that we got a lot of.
Prove to me I'm wrong.
Go unnoticed.
We notice hard work. We notice when you don't. We notice it. Yeah, you're right. Just go. Our hard work goes unnoticed. What exactly are you doing? Redoing songs and remaking songs that other people made and then trying to make it new and say it's yours? Not knowing that songs have original artists, but you think it's, oh man, that beat is good. It's used. Because literally, you can count on one hand the things that your generation has come up with that was actually, authentically theirs. And not a remake.
That's for right now.
Dude, you done had 20 years. What are we waiting on? What do you mean for right now? You should be doing it right now.
Gen Z just got done being born in 2012. Like, we give us some time. Wait till we get to our 40s.
You got to wait that long?
Well, we got to build it up. Like, we started the foundation now.
Listen up. White people are ahead of us because they start at a significantly younger age being forced into becoming adults and doing those things. We're talking 17, 18-year-olds, in some cases 16-year-olds that were in World War II flying airplanes. Now, where were you where you think, not you, but the aptitude of a person is advanced enough at 18 or 17 to fly an actual airplane in a war and drop bombs?
I think that was due to necessity.
But they wonder why. No, they still had 30 and 40-year-olds that were grown men. But think about this. That's why they're the silent generation today. People are like, oh, they're the silent generation. If you had lived through what they lived through and dropped bombs on people and had to kill people in hand-to-hand combat and watch friends die as veterans, guess what? I ain't talking to nobody either. I'm just saying. I'm not talking to nobody. What are they going to do other than be told who to vote for, be told how to vote, and then that's it?
I think that if we were put in those same situations, you would be surprised. We'll go crazy. I just think we don't have. You got
opportunity to go crazy now. You ain't got no stress. You got no wars. You got nothing stressing you in the least. Why ain't you rocking it?
But if we had something to stress us, if we had to go to war, if we had to do that, we would come through. I just think we just
So because you don't, you'll just be lazy and not do? I don't
think it's being lazy. I just
Did you do anything?
We didn't develop as the strength and all of that, like as they did, because we didn't go through as bad stuff as they went through.
Or any bad stuff. What bad thing has your generation gone through? And don't count COVID, because everybody went through COVID.
I was just going to say COVID.
It's ridiculous. That is indigenous to your generation. 833-212-1017. What has Gen Z gone through that's indigenous to their generation? Because even if you look at millennials and people are complaining, oh, millennials are big, they're kind of coming into their own. They're starting their own businesses. They're making their own movies. They're doing their thing, right? Because it clicked. If I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna have to do this myself, and I'm gonna have to do my thing. And that's what they're doing. Valerie said, this generation is sad. In the 80s and 90s, we went outside and actually played and knew everybody on the block. This generation can't even read an analog clock or write in cursive. And that's true. They don't. Most of them can't even write their name. Like, they wouldn't know their name if it was written in cursive. Think about that. You write your name in cursive and they go, what is that?
That's Gen A. I don't know if that's Gen Z. I was outside, all of that. And I was learning cursive all
Did you?
Yeah. I was learning cursive in second grade.
Well, you're supposed to. You got to know how to read and write by the time you're in third grade. Like, what are we doing? They don't teach reading beyond third grade in public schools, which I think is the most idiotic, backwards, stupid thing I've ever seen in my life. But I guess when you create reading and writing and base it on what white people have, then that's what you get. And I say it to this day, in no disrespect, but at some point, black people need to decide whether or not they're going to leave their kids in public schools and create schools for themselves. Valerie went on to say, going to the library was fundamental for your brain. Got that? Instead of looking on your phone, you got a chance to actually read books, learn your history, and all of that without having to Google it. Google makes you lazy intellectually. You're intellectually lazy.
I think it depends on how you use it. Because I still read the books, but Google.
Who taught you how to use Google?
Me.
That's the problem. That right there. To go to a library, you have to learn how to use a library, how to understand the Dewey Decimal System, how books are, these are the humanities, these are sciences, this is math. Like, you learn arts, science. You learn all that stuff, and it broadens your thinking. You just, Google it, and then you believe the first thing you read. Oh, no.
I don't think most people believe. I know how to accurately fact check. I know.
When you just told me that you go Google, you told me that no, you don't.
When I Google, I know how to really Google. I know how to really research. I know scholarly articles.
Should I call them out? How?
Huh?
Because if you're looking up a scholarly article on Google, it's not scholarly.
Google Scholar? Bro, Google Scholar got some stuff.
No.
Them all peer reviewed.
No.
On Google Scholar, they all peer reviewed.
No. Go through a university like a Concordia, go to their library, look up and search all of the periodicals. You can isolate, because that's the way to learn, because you're going to the actual source, not through Google Scholar to a source. Because you still can't get access to the article, right? You got to figure out a way how to get it or buy it. That's why universities are so important. I'm glad tomorrow ain't tomorrow college month? Anyway. Oh, man. Help me out, Al.
Well, you know what I think? I think that they're in a different time, but I feel like there's a whole lot of room for growth, meaning they just have to push themselves a little harder. So, prime example.
That ain't going to happen.
We have where we are today, because they are the future. Maybe they should indulge, they have plans.
Maybe they should take part in the present before they try to become the future. Okay, go ahead.
I was thinking maybe they can indulge in, number one, maybe somebody can learn how to fix and fly planes, maybe look into foreign weapons, maybe look into trying to learn about AI. What about combat fighting, like karate, Krav Maga, because it teaches discipline and it teaches you how to control the mental. So you cannot be mentally dead or mentally broken, because you can take what's used against you mentally and use it against the other person. You can have people who like to drive fast and they can invest in NASCAR driving. There's so many things that they can indulge in. And then the other thing is if they learn from the generation before them, and if they mix that with what they know now, it is a formula that cannot be challenged,
but
because
Al,
you're taking something from back. Huh?
But Al, they know everything.
Well, nobody knows everything. They know enough. But if they take what they know now and they go back to the generation before and they mix it with what they learn now, they can be a powerful entity from the technology from back then, and they mix it with what's now, they will be unstoppable, because what they make today cannot compete from technology back then. But if they learn both of them and put them together, that is a formula that nobody can crack, which means they will have the master key. So if somebody do come together with something new, they will be able to break down, create their own formula, bust the firewall, and create something now that nobody can own the patent, because only they know the formula. But you got to learn how to rock with the old. Huh?
Go ahead.
You got to learn how to learn from the generations before and mix it with what you know today, and that's what makes any person dangerous when it comes to society, because now they're well-rounded.
But you have to understand that they have to then respect their elders as human libraries and sit and listen. Even to the stuff that they don't agree with, sit and listen so that they can actually learn it. But if you think you know everything because you think you can find it on the internet with zero context, zero historical fact, you're going to lose every single time. You can only sustain that for so long, and then you're going to fail. There's no critical thinking whatsoever.
Well, this is what I learned. Those who want to learn, let them learn. Those who want to share, let them share. And for those who don't want to learn, let them go. But for those who want to learn, they would take what they learned from the generation before and use it in their life today, because what they have today can't compete with the generation before, because it's two mentalities. But if you put them together, they'll work like a compound word.
But the black community wants to bring everybody together. We keep thinking of ourselves as one group. We think of ourselves as, a rising tide raises all boats, but we're not.
Well,
and if we keep wanting to bring every single person with us, even though they don't have the capacity or the energy or even want to grow, what do you do?
Well, the thing is you can't bring everybody together, because everybody has unique personalities and
No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about everybody has to have a house. Everybody has to have a car. Everybody has to have a job. Everybody has to work. Everybody has to have a living wage. Everybody, that kind of thing that clearly it doesn't work. That socialist thinking idea that we're all equal and we're not.
How about concentrate on self first?
Yep.
And that's the only way. Concentrate on self, and for those who want to stand with you, help them to a degree. But remember, you only can help so much, because then you don't want to give an open door of enabling people, because if they can depend on you, they won't depend on themselves. And if
we
they
know
have
that's
you to
right.
think for them, so if they concentrate on self, and then you only give them so much, then they will learn how to depend on self, and then it'll go from there. So that's all I can say.
Thank you, sir.
All right, take care.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, make sure you guys tune into The Truth this Saturday at 11 a.m. for another episode of More Than a Movement, powered by Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin. Me, your girl Noni Juice, will be joined by Sarah Noble of the Be Noble Group, and we're going to discuss the history of the Black vote. We're also going to outline the policies that you should know about and how they can positively or negatively impact our community. So again, that is More Than a Movement, powered by Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin, this Saturday at 11 a.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Reproductive justice is a framework, it's a movement, it's a vision for reproductive freedom, it's a right to have a child, it's a right to not have children, and this next part is really as important as the other parts. It's the right to birth and parent our children with dignity, and the right to live and parent our children in safe and healthy environments. So reproductive justice understands the ability of any person to control their destiny is directly related to the conditions of their communities. It looks at the intersections of discrimination in social, political, and economic systems, and it sheds lights on the barriers that these systems produce. And then we, reproductive justice advocates, fight against the barriers that prevent Black people and other people of color from exercising their rights. That's reproductive justice.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Get the look you want for your home with customizable windows and doors from Pella. The durability of materials gets tested tens of thousands of times to ensure they last for years to come. Pella offers custom colors and innovative features like shades between the glass. And right now, celebrate Gina Della's 60th birthday with 0 for 60. Put 0 down, get 0 interest for up to 60 months. Hold your appointment on or before November 8th. Certain restrictions apply. Visit PellaWI.com.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as 1 business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Dear Dad, I don't say this enough, but you're my hero. I know you're not feeling this election, but please do me a favor. Vote. Our Black history, my access to healthcare, and our voting rights are under attack. Extreme politicians want to take away our voice and our vote. Our future, my future, is on the ballot right now. You have the power to make sure my voice is heard. Please, Dad, use your power. Vote like my life depends on it. Paid for by NAACP.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Hey, y'all, if your garage door is giving you headaches, best way I know how to deal with it is to call my friends at Geis. Family owned since 1955, Geis is the trusted authority on garage doors and openers in southeastern Wisconsin. Trust me, I use them too. I got 2 brand spanking new doors. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. So, for fast, reliable garage repair solutions, go to geisdoors.com. That's GEIS doors.com. Or tell them Dr. Ken told you to call 262-784-4250. That's 262-784-4250. Don't think twice. Call Geis. Dave said, Dr. Ken, I spent countless hours at Milner Library. As you know I did. I still have lots to learn, too. It's an experience when you're in the place where all the knowledge that's on the internet is in a book somewhere, and you have to find it. And you have to go through that critical process of looking at the breadth of knowledge and then what you're going to narrow it down to. And then out of that, what you narrowed it down to, what are your, that takes something that when you have issues and problems and decisions you have to make, your critical thinking skill pretty much is the same as when you're a kid, right? But the more knowledge you assign to it, the more decisions you make, right? If you think the only option you have is A, but then the more knowledge and experience you get, you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, that's all we're trying to pass on to you. I'm not saying don't change. I'm saying recognize that you have resources that you could pick up the phone and say, hey, what is that? Like literally, when I wanted to learn, I wanted to buy a house. I'm terrified, right? You know, got a baby, you're married, and you want to buy your first house, and you're like, I have no idea what to do. So I called my uncle in Chicago, said, hey, can I come by and see you? He goes, yeah. I said, I'm looking to buy a house, and I have no idea how to start. I have no idea I think I must have been 34-ish. And he said, let me come here. So and we went through everything you have to do. And I followed it, and I got a house. Then I was able to help other people do the same thing. But that's what experience is. When you eschew older people, you're forgetting that the way your life is much easier. You'll still go through problems. It's much easier when you know what's coming. It's like being in Florida and not knowing that storm was coming versus knowing the storm was coming. You can make a decision to stay, you can make a decision to leave, but if you don't know it's coming, you get stuck. And I guess that's what the person was talking about in the beginning. The Black community is stuck.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices, and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call That's All Gruber Cash Giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 1017 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices, One Call That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
It started with a prediction.
Go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Make Milwaukee work for you. 1MKE provides easy-to-use information on local, state, and federal programs that can save you money and improve your well-being. Discover events you can attend to get involved in your community and find nonpartisan resources to help you make your voting plan for the upcoming election. 1MKE envisions a future where every Milwaukee resident understands how being civically engaged can help us create a healthier, stronger city. Because together, we are One Milwaukee. Learn more at 1mke.org.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard, aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
Truth Nation, stand up and tap in. This is 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is your 1017 The Truth News Update.
Hello, everyone. This is Rhea Riley with your news update. Felony charges in the death of his son. 34-year-old Christopher Sloan of Milwaukee faces 6 felonies, including second-degree reckless homicide and homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle in the death of his 5-year-old son, Jalen. Sloan crashed his car into 2 legally parked cars and a tree head-on last Friday night near 81st and Hampton. Witnesses say he was speeding and weaving through traffic before the crash. Sloan tried to fight with the first responders before he was taken to the hospital and then arrested. 5-year-old Jalen died from his injuries at the hospital the next morning. His twin brother was also injured but will be okay. Both children were found in the front seat of the car without seat belts. According to officials, Sloan had a blood alcohol level 3 times legal limit, and he was found without a valid driver's license. He remains in custody on a $200,000 bond. 13 Milwaukee public schools are being considered for closure or mergers. If this goes through, the north side of the city would be the most impacted. The district hired an outside consultant to study long-term facility planning. Nate Morris of Perkins Eastman presented a progress report on Tuesday night's board meeting.
Research shows that when districts are, implementing closures, they often disproportionately impact communities that are already underserved or marginalized or already suffering. And we really want to be thoughtful about these from the start and as we go through it and work with the stakeholders and community.
If the board approves, closures would happen over several years, starting in 2026. A list of schools which will be impacted by this has not been released. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris continues on the new 1017 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and the Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. The Greater Milwaukee Urban League's 39th annual Black and White Ball is Saturday, and we want to bring the celebration to you. 1017 The Truth's Black and White Ball After Party will be hosted by me, Dr. Ken Harris, this Saturday, 10 p.m. to 11. It's just an hour. I'll be joined by a who's who of Milwaukee. Might even have some surprise famous people. So, make sure you check it out. Come in, get in on all the fun. Tune in. Black and White Ball After Party show this Saturday, 10 to 11 on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Don't forget, Friday night, Marquette University High School Hilltoppers football. Round 2 in the playoffs. Matchup is Marquette Hilltoppers look to keep their playoff journey alive as they host the Dupier Redbirds. Kickoff set at 7 o'clock this Friday evening. High school sports on the award-winning 1017 The Truth is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call. That's all. Hey, do we know who the winner was this morning? Who was the winner? Curly Q. That's what's up. Congratulations, Curly Q. You were the Gruber Law Offices 5K giveaway winner. Oh, Halloween? See, that's what I'm talking about. I might get $5,000 on Halloween. My kid can get $5,000 on Halloween. I need $5,000 on Halloween. Talking text line, right, going to the library, index cards, and then you have to find the index card. You would have to go down that section, find the book. Yeah. You know, I love this generation because they do have knowledge. Well, I don't think they have, well, they have information, but they don't have knowledge. Knowledge is when you take that and then you apply it to all of your experiences and education and all that, and then apply it. I ain't seen nothing applied. So, but if the satellites all fell out of the sky and technology was lost, they wouldn't know what to do. That is true. What you mean I can't use my phone? No. ChatGPT don't work today. What? I got a paper to write.
That would be a problem. I'm not going to lie to you. If technology went down, that would be a problem.
How many millennial babies would even be able to travel without their cell phone because they don't know how to read a map? Wow. They have to use their phone to Google where they go. Wow.
That's a fact. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow. I use Google or Waze maybe like twice, and then I'm done. And then I force myself to drive and figure out where it is, and I'm done.
I use Apple Maps like a mother.
Oh, it's just pitiful. Pitiful. It's pitiful. It's just pitiful. I'm just so ashamed of you. I am so disappointed in you. Sir, I am so... Remember how your mother used to do you? Young man, I am so disappointed. That's how your teacher used to... I am so disappointed in you. And I have an effeminate voice because most of the teachers were female. Like the only male teacher was the gym teacher. And by the time I got to 6th grade, my 5th and 6th grade teacher was Mr. Roden. White guys. My 3rd grade teacher, her husband was the chief of police, the superintendent of police in Chicago at the time. It's just weird when I think back, you know, Mrs. Smiley, who I think I never had her as a direct teacher, but, you know, we would rotate classes and all that. And she was, you know, in the neighborhood, like all these people I knew from the neighborhood, but never connected to their teacher. Only after I got in school and got older, and then I went, wait a minute, I saw you at church, and I saw you at, oh, okay. And then I figured out that, you know, teachers are just, you know, teachers are those gods. You know.
That's true.
And then later you get older, you be like, oh, that dude going shopping. Like, really?
Dog, that's so crazy. when I was a sophomore in high school, and I would see my teachers coming in Metro Market, I'm like, wait, what in the world? Y'all not supposed to be out here grocery shopping?
How they eat. How they get dressed. You know what I'm saying? But they just have that bigger than life about them. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Wow. Satellites fall. Yeah, millennials, y'all gonna chuck it. Y'all think y'all need therapy after 9/11? Lose yo. Well, wait, what do you mean I can't stream? Like, what? I can't, what? No, my favorite show is on Apple TV. What do you mean I can't? Huh? What do you mean I can't? It's funny. Absolutely funny.
Number 5.
From CBS of 58.com, lead poisoning continues to be a serious health threat facing young children in Milwaukee. And on this past Wednesday, the city of Milwaukee is raising awareness and wants to get the word out on our new lead testing recommendations to better protect families. So, somebody actually argued with me that idiotic car raised awareness about Milwaukee. I was like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. All it takes is a packet of sugar. If you've had lead paint and it was a packet of sugar spread throughout the entire house, that's enough to cause lead poisoning. That's what Michael Mannon, Director of Home Environmental Health. If levels get high enough, lead poisoning can be fatal. It can also cause developmental disabilities in children. It can be behavioral issues, learning delays, challenges with literacy issues, impulse control. You think it could be ADHD, but it could be linked to lead poisoning, said Tyler Weber, Deputy Commissioner of Environmental Health, Milwaukee. And so earlier this month, President Joe Biden announced $2.6 billion in funding will go in to replace all lead pipes in the U.S., which is like nothing. But Wisconsin is one of six states, thank goodness, where lead levels in the blood of children are more than double the national rate. So it's a start. It's good. Is it enough? Well, nothing's ever really enough, but it's a monumental start. So thank you, President Joe Biden. Thank you to the lead abatement program. Thank you for the City of Milwaukee lead testing recommendations. If you go to the article on CBS 58, they've actually got resources from the state of Wisconsin, from the City of Milwaukee lead testing folks. So no matter what you do, you should be able to get some things corrected. We're not going to find out about this for some time to come, but it's important that we make sure that our children are made safe. And in order to do so, we have to what? We got to get them tested. You can't be afraid of it. You can't be upset by it. You just have to do what you do.
Number 4.
From the Associated Press, I don't know if you knew this, some 8,000 North Korean soldiers are now in Russia near Ukraine's border and are preparing to help the Kremlin fight against Ukrainian troops in the coming days, the Biden administration said today. There's a new figure in a dramatic increase from a day earlier when Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin would only say some of the troops had moved toward Ukraine's border in the Kursk region, where Moscow forces have struggled to push back a Ukrainian incursion. That would mean most of the North Korean troops that the U.S. and its allies say have been sent to Russia are now on the Russia-Ukrainian border. U.S. estimates to be about 10,000 North Korean soldiers in Russia. Seoul and allies associated that the number, and its allies associated that the number has increased to 11,000, while Ukraine has put the figure higher at up to 12,000. Of the 8,000 in Kursk, we've not seen these troops deploy in combat against Ukrainian forces, but we would expect that to happen in the coming days, said Secretary of State Antony Blinken at a news conference with Lloyd Austin and their South Korean counterparts. So that's about to jump off. Isn't it interesting that it's about to jump off in Israel with Hezbollah and Iran and all that, and it's going to jump off in North Korea? Which one are we going to help fight? Not in North Korea, but the Ukraine. Which one are we going to help? I wonder. Or is this being done on purpose to give us two fronts to fight on, and in the end, we're just in two wars at the same time, which will stretch us thin. You know, Gen Z and millennials don't want to go to war. Yeah, we're going to be in trouble.
Number 3.
From WISN, from WISN.com. So construction along Lakeshore Drive, North Lake Drive, is adding protected bike lanes, traffic calming measures that could be put on pause. So a group of residents sued the City of Milwaukee and Wisconsin Department of Transportation over the plans. The project, which stretches along Lake Drive from Newberry Boulevard to Edgewood Avenue, drew criticism from residents at a Public Works Committee meeting in May. The city started construction on the first phase of the project, check this out, over the summer anyway, which shows you, they say, well, we want to have a listening session, but that's all they're going to do is listen. They're really not going to act on anything. First phase of the project starts at Kenwood and extends north to Edgewood. The stretch of Lake Drive used to have 2 lanes of parking, 2 bike lanes, 2 lanes of vehicle traffic. After construction, 1 lane of parking on the lakeside, 2 protected bike lanes, 2 lanes of vehicle traffic. Neighbors are split on the project and whether or not it's warranted. It said there's been a ton of cyclists, so I think it's really important to have these bikers stay safe, and that's a priority. Other residents along Lake Drive say they do not see bicyclists and pedestrians nearly as they've seen vehicles. A group of residents called Guardians of North Historic Lake Drive is suing the city and the state. And according to the lawsuit, the group argues that the two did not share their plan to construct precast concrete curbs, bump outs, and tubular posts in the roadway of Lake Drive. The lawsuit also alleges these changes interfere with the usefulness as a highway, damaging abutted property and affect the historic character of the neighborhood. The group is now asking a judge to decide whether or not workers must stop constructing the curbs, bump outs, and posts. Really?
I hate those bump outs.
Yeah, it is kind of dumb. Because you still get the fool that tries to go around and then they can't go around. And so then they start to force themselves into traffic and almost cause an accident. And it really doesn't do any good. We need, forget it. Because we're not going to get it. We need to lock people up. We need to write them tickets. And that's the only way. I don't get it. I just don't understand. But I'm just one guy.
Number 2.
This from blackenterprise.com. The raw number of black men attending HBCUs has fallen to its lowest number in nearly 50 years. I talked about this a couple weeks ago. And administrators of HBCUs are starting to take notice. According to NPR, currently, black men are only 26% of enrolled students at HBCUs. That's 1 in 4. A significant drop from 38% that comprised in 1976, unless you're a guy at a school with girls. Then, anyway, per analysis of the American Institute for Boys and Men, the decline of black male attendance at HBCUs is affected by a myriad of factors. As their study states, the decline in black male students is influenced by factors like inadequate K-12 preparation, a lack of black male teachers, I don't understand what that means, and financial barriers both individually and institutionally. That I can see. So, Joanna Summers talked to Calvin Hadley, that's from NPR's Joanna Summers, talked to Calvin Hadley, Assistant Provost for Academic Partnerships and Student Engagement at Howard University, about the university's problems. Haley, the graduate of the university where he now works, told Summers that he noticed the disparities in male and female enrollment during his undergraduate time at Howard. He said, I'm a Howard alum, and I remember as a student, the numbers were pretty much stark at that time. They were around 33, 34% when I was a student in 2004 or 2008. Now, as you announced in your introduction, Howard University is around 25% male total. So, and I think recent statistics said Howard is around 19% black male, and so that is being felt on campus. Our social clubs, it's felt on the yard. And I think many of our male students have commented that in some of their classes, they're the only male in the class. Wow. And if it's hitting a school like Howard, maybe they need to go raid Morehouse. I don't know. Maybe so. I don't think so. That's interesting. And then, as if we hadn't heard anything in days.
Number 1.
This from NBC Black. A woman who anonymously sued Sean Diddy Combs this month, you ready? For rape, must reveal her name or her lawsuit will be tossed out. That's what a judge said. The woman's complaint filed under Jane Doe in the Southern District of New York accuses Combs of raping her in 2004 at a Manhattan hotel when she was a 19-year-old college student. However, U.S. District Judge Mary Kay, I can't say the last name, Vyskocil, 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 in a ruling yesterday said that while the case is highly sensitive and Jane Doe is likely to face public scrutiny if she proceeds under her own name, her desire to remain anonymous does not outweigh the interests of Combs and the public in the customary and constitutionally embedded presumption of openness in judicial proceedings. Vyskocil said the woman's complaint provided insufficient evidence that she would face significant risk or harm if publicly named. The judge also said her lawyers offered no support for this assertion beyond the fact that 20 years ago, Combs threatened Doe's life if she fled at the time of the alleged rape. The complaint also said that Combs had no contact with Doe in the years since. It noted that Combs is currently detained. The judge also said that her lawyers failed to provide evidence that revealed Doe's identity would cause mental harm, noting that public humiliation was not enough. She said they failed to submit evidence from a mental health professional or a sworn affidavit from the Jane Doe. The judge also said that she had also considered the fairness to Combs' camp in defending himself, which would be difficult without her identity being made public, given that the alleged attack happened 20 years ago. So defendants have a right to defend themselves, including by investigating the plaintiff. And the people have a right to know who is using their courts. So in denying the motion, the judge gave Jane Doe until November 13th to file a complaint in her own name, or the case will be dismissed. You think that's fair? 833-212-1017. You think that's fair? And understand the Constitution says that you have a right to address your accuser. But when you file a lawsuit and you want millions of dollars and you don't say who you are, I can't defend myself against somebody I don't know. So what are your thoughts? 833-212-1017 is the number. Let me see. Y'all blowing up the chat because they know. Wow. I guess they get a little dust up. Dave said, Dr. Ken, I spent countless hours at the library. Valerie said, I love this generation because they have knowledge, but then they talk about the satellites falling out the sky. They would lose their mind. They have no knowledge beyond their phones, the cell phone. How many millennial babies would even be able to travel? And then Bab said, I hope this post, I don't know if Curly Q was watching, but I heard she won the Gruber 5K, and I wanted to congratulate her. Congratulations, Curly Q. I'm so happy. Yes, she did. Sure did. Guess how much I got? I didn't even get $10.17.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Juicy Jammers, it's your boy Ben Jammin.
And your girl Nona Juice.
Election day is Tuesday, November 5th, and we want to encourage you to get registered to vote.
The great thing about Wisconsin is that you can register to vote on Election Day.
Yes, you heard my girl Nona Juice right. We have same-day voter registration on Election Day here in Wisconsin. So no excuses, Truth Nation, for not getting out to vote and making your voice be heard.
To find out more information about voting and what is on your ballot, visit myvote.wi.gov.
Vote on Tuesday, November 5th. Truth Nation. Milwaukee Black Talk.
My name is Anton Moore. Around here, we have hardworking people that just need a break. Whether it's investing in small businesses or making housing affordable, Vice President Harris gets it.
Kamala Harris is making sure black men have the tools to build generational wealth. She'll put a policy in place that gives 1 million forgivable loans to help entrepreneurs, including black entrepreneurs, start their own businesses. She also plans to give $25,000 in down payment assistance for first-time homeowners and crack down on racial bias in home appraisals. Harris's plan will help black men own more assets so we can build long-term wealth.
This is what an investment in my community looks like. We're trying to build generational wealth. No get-rich-quick schemes, no scams, no one-time check, none of that. Vice President Harris got our back. I'll be there on November 5th. Will you be there?
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
It's your girl Noni Juice here from my people at Steinhafels. And you guys, Black Friday furniture and mattress savings, they start right now at Steinhafels. You can get all the latest looks at the season's best prices, like mattresses starting at just $199, recliners at $449, sofas at $499, and more. Plus, you can pay with Steinhafels' special 18-month 0% financing when you purchase $799 or more. No money down, no hidden fees. Shop Steinhafels' Black Friday savings now, in store or online at steinhafels.com.
Your drink, sir?
This virtual vacation is brought to you by Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport. For the full experience, visit flymke.com to explore our many nonstop destinations. With super convenient parking and low fares, flying from Milwaukee makes traveling so easy, it's like starting your vacation early. Fly easy, fly MKE.
Sybaris Pool Suites. Romantic, luxurious, affordable. A place where romance touches paradise and the memories of a lifetime are made. Sybaris offers a variety of room styles, including the exquisite Chalet Suite, which spans 3 levels and features your own private swimming pool with cascading waterfall, soothing whirlpool tub, a cozy fireplace, and much more to make your stay unforgettable. They are located in Mequon, just north of Milwaukee. Take a virtual tour at Sybaris.com.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. You know what you need to do Saturday? You need to tune in to the award-winning 1017 The Truth at 10 a.m. for another episode of Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. Dr. Nicole Mubanae, Chief Medical Officer, will be joining Sherwin Hughes, and they'll be discussing, well, the fact that 9 out of 10 adult Americans really have no idea about their health literacy. You know, we talk about financial literacy, but they don't really know about their health literacy. And so, how can we better understand our personal health? Well, that's what they'll discuss. She is the Chief Medical Officer at Outreach Community Health Centers. And what you need to realize is that as they talk, as they discuss, you got to know, this is not just a show. It's a movement dedicated to bringing our community together through wellness. So don't miss Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers, this Saturday, 10 a.m. on the 1017 The Truth. 1017 The Truth. Got it? 1017 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk. 10 a.m. Saturday, Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. So, I'm going to talk about something that a lot of people don't know about, and it's a story from TMJ4.com. And when you hear this, I want you to understand that it's something that's been around for years. A list of problematic cops kept from the public eye is now at the center of the TMJ4 Lighthouse investigation. So there's a list at the prosecutor's office, at the district attorney's office, called the Brady List. And it contains the name of dozens of officers with troubled histories from the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office that they want to keep confidential. The full list was released to TMJ4 News only after a threat of a lawsuit. And for the first time, we're hearing from a former officer who was fired after being placed on the list. This is a big shock to everybody, Eric Andrade said. People didn't even know it existed. It was like a big mystery. Andrade says he hasn't been able to work in law enforcement for 6 years following his involvement in the wrongful arrest of former Bucks player Sterling Brown. You may remember in 2018, Brown was tased and then taken to the ground after parking in 2 handicapped spaces outside of Walgreens. Andrade was not involved in excessive use of force that night, which ultimately cost the city $750,000 in a settlement. However, he made several Facebook posts following the incident that then Police Chief Alfonso Morales described as racist and derogatory and that mocked the NBA player. One post read, "Nice meeting Sterling Brown of the Milwaukee Bucks at work this morning. LOL, hashtag fear the deer." I'm from the south side of Milwaukee, Andrade said. I went to Milwaukee public schools my whole life. My dad's from Mexico, and they just totally turned me out to be a racist. Andrade's violation of the department's social media policy led to his placement on Milwaukee County's Brady list for racial bias. Morales said at the time he had no choice but to terminate Andrade. "I would not have fired him had it not been for his inability to testify in court or be used by the district attorney's office to testify in court," Morales said in December 2018. Andrade said, "At the end of the day, I did what I did. I mean, who can I blame for posting that stuff, you know? As insensitive as it was, but when he said that, it caught me totally off guard." Andrade is one of 192 current and former law enforcement members on Milwaukee County's Brady list. The list exists due to a U.S. Supreme Court case from 6 decades ago, that's 60 years, that requires prosecutors in criminal cases to disclose if officers have a history of crime, dishonesty, bias, or other integrity concerns if they're called to testify. Well, until TMJ4 News involved attorneys, the district attorney refused to release names on the list for internal, non-criminal misconduct. "Why do you think this is such a secretive list?" reporter Ben Johnson asked, and Andrade replied, "It's going to open up a can of worms for them. They're going to have to do a lot of explaining." One thing Andrade wants to explain is why he was put on the list, but the officers disciplined for tasing and taking Brown down are not. This story isn't about whether Andrade should be on the list, but rather his concerns about inconsistencies already found. The list from the DA's office lacks detail, includes the current employment status of most officers on the list. That column in the spreadsheet is empty for the majority of listed officers. So using public available salary data, TMJ4 found that 22 officers from the Milwaukee Police Department and Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office retained their jobs despite being placed or being listed for non-criminal code of conduct violations. Our analysis showed 3 officers remain on the force after being convicted of misdemeanor crimes. Well, it also depends on what the crime is, too. I'm just saying. Do you feel like there are officers who have done worse than what you've done, who are on the Brady list but kept their jobs, but got to keep their jobs, Jordan asked, the reporter. And Andrade replied, "It's obvious, just look at it. I think that's why they didn't want it out. I mean, look how hard you had to work to get on that list." Andrade also questions how many names may be missing, citing former Milwaukee County Deputy Sean Bassich. TMJ4's News ghosted investigation revealed Bassich was disciplined for making racially inflammatory remarks to black people while intoxicated and off duty, suspended for 5 days, but was not on the Brady list. 833-212-1017 is the number. Do we need something like this? Why? Do we have something like this for people who act the fool at their job and say, "Yeah, you can't work for us because you're," I don't know. You tell me. I mean, I don't know.
Because they public, I feel like that'll be good for any public, like official or anything like that. I mean, when you serving the people, we got to know who credible and who uncredible.
does that make you uncredible because you said something that you believe? Like, if you don't like white people, can you still sit here and be on 101.7 The Truth, produce a show, and if a white person calls, like, I don't know, like, should we call you out because you're, you know what I mean?
Like, for example, like that police officer, the Sterling Brown thing.
Right.
He's not credible because after that situation, going on social media and basically making sarcastic remarks about it, that show your mindset.
But doesn't he have a right to freedom of speech? And if you read what he wrote, did it rise to the level of racism?
It didn't. It wasn't. It didn't rise to racism, but the sarcasm.
There's nothing illegal about sarcasm. There's nothing against rules and procedures about sarcasm. Like, really? So what we're hearing is that police officers can't be human. Before everybody calls and says, "Oh, you're just on the police side." If I was on the police side, I wouldn't have read this story.
He just should have never posted none of that on social media. Like, that's such a serious case.
And that was only one post. He wrote some other stuff too. And so I get it, but it's just like the what's the one about the officers that were in the white supremacist group, and a couple of them are on police departments around here, and nobody really did anything about that. Now they should be put on the Brady list, right? They should be placed on it because you are part of this clandestine, racist cops group that or just racist group period that believes, oh well. I'd love to get a copy and see who's on the Brady list. I would love to look at it and go, oh, look. Unless I found out I'm on it. Dr. King was talking about white people. He said he didn't like, I'm just teasing. But I mean, it's really important that we take a look and make sure when we do things like that, it's fair. Because everybody has a right to believe what they believe, as long as it doesn't interfere with your job. But to make the assumption that it will automatically interfere with your job is incorrect. I work with some white people, and I work with some black people that I know. Because in one instance or two, they admitted to me they were racist. They also made the phrase, but you're different. And it comes to not liking somebody, hating somebody until you get to know people. And then when you know people, the whole race thing, the whole identity thing disappears and it's your friend. And so I remember instances in being in fights and being in really bad situations. And when the cavalry came, the cavalry was the people that was supposed to be the most racist people on the job. And it's a weird place to be, right? Like, I know you don't like me and I know you hate black people, but yet you saved me. Like, you helped me, right? And vice versa. I knew some black guys that did not like white people at all. It was like me talking to my great-grandmother. And I never met my great-grandmother, right? But you knew she was a slave. She wasn't feeling that kind of thing. Well, but let a cop call for help. They the fastest ones flying, the first ones there, and helping that person. Because and so when people talk about this thin blue line, that's the blue line I see. That's the help you get when the chips are down. And if you can do that, what you do at home, it's your business. Traffic, sports, and weather. Something's coming up next.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
CBS Tonight.
Hi again.
TV's quirkiest crime solver.
I'm Elsbeth Tassioni. I work with the police.
Is back and ready to go toe-to-toe.
Yes.
With a cavalcade of guest stars.
You have a devious mind.
I'm a lawyer.
Don't miss a moment of the critically acclaimed hit.
Look for anything out of the ordinary.
That sounds like fun. Murder should be fun.
Obviously, murder's not fun.
Tonight on CBS 58. The CBS 58 News at 10 with Natalie Shepard.
I think if you watch the other stations, you might think nothing good ever happens in Milwaukee, and we know that's just not true.
And Jessup Riceback.
We do find solutions to some issues in our communities.
We are focused on finding stories that are impactful, and I think that's something that really sets our newscasts apart.
It is an honor to sit in those chairs on that desk and help tell those stories.
Jessup and Natalie. Weeknights at 10 on CBS 58, your hometown station.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
People will tell you that race is a social construct and that there's no biological reality that distinguishes between a white individual and a black individual. So what does that mean if there are these quote-unquote disparities, right? It means that the way we move through a society is markedly different, right? And that the experience that we have has biological consequences. Is when you're in a society where people are constantly discriminating against a certain group, denying access, don't have control over the institutions that govern our lives. All of those things create a biological reality and a response, whether it's a stress hormone or a fear or something that could be passed on, what we call epigenetics, which means what my mother or my grandmother experienced had an effect on what formed me in my responses to those stressors. That's how we can be two individual people with very little difference, but have totally, vastly different experiences as we move through our reproductive health.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
So, you hear about this Project 2025?
Yeah, man. And if the part I read is like the other 900 pages, we're in real trouble.
What's it say?
They want to make it harder to vote, cut Social Security and Medicare, and even go after small businesses.
They're coming after my business.
Afraid so.
Plan is to take money from businesses like yours to give rich folks more tax breaks.
No.
So y'all gonna use your power and vote.
Of course.
And vote like our lives depend on it. Paid for by NAACP.
Natural gas is a clean, reliable, and convenient source of energy delivered directly to you through underground pipelines. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
Things are moving along slowly westbound 94 from 16th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard and points beyond. We got some delays all the way out to about 68th. The eastbound side is backing up from 84th Street through the Stadium Interchange. Southbound on 43, slowing down right through the Marquette Interchange down to the KK River. We had an earlier disabled semi that was stuck in the center lane on 41 southbound right after Silver Spring. Now, they've been able to move it out of traffic, but still delays are all the way back past Good Hope Road. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, windy, partly cloudy, a low of 36. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high of 49. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Kyle Wallace. The Green Bay Packers return to the practice field again today, and franchise quarterback Jordan Love was an active participant in practice. Missing from practice was starting cornerback Jair Alexander and starting safety Evan Williams. The Packers take on divisional rival the Detroit Lions on Sunday for a battle for first place in the NFC North. The Milwaukee Bucks return to their hardwood tonight after a couple days off. They are on the road in Memphis as they take on the Grizzlies. The Bucks are looking to end their 3-game losing streak tonight, and tip-off is set for 7 p.m. and can be heard on our sister station, 620 WTMJ. This True Sports Update was brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Dr. Ken, you just can't say no because you've never done it a different way. Yes, I can. What's wrong with you? Yes, I can. And it's not a different way for a younger generation. It's not anything. Like, I ain't arguing with you, Wayne. Online education is outpacing in-person learning. Actually, it's not. This generation, like, let me ask, you like taking a class online or person to person? In person? What about you? In person or online?
It depends.
That's not what I asked you, dude.
Because
you prefer online versus
I would prefer in person because online I'm not gonna do it right.
Right. And so generationally, younger millennials, they absolutely, positively, beyond a shadow of a doubt, do not want online anything. But they love technology. Don't make that assumption. They don't like it. I told people that. Nah, I didn't know what I was talking about. I'm reading the studies. I'm talking to the students. They're saying, no, we don't want that. And then it started to slowly disappear. And now it's I need to do it out of necessity. Like I want to graduate early or I got a job and I need to do, then they do it. There has to be a reason to do it. It needs to be an alternative, not a whole full scale, get your whole degree online. That works for some people.
Because like when I do online, I half-ass it the whole time.
Well, that's you. So you don't care what your grade is, right? You just kind of get the work done.
Well, yeah, you get the work. Like I would go calculate. Okay, I need this. I got to get this to get that grade.
Really,
and then I just get it done.
Really do. But don't you do that face to face too?
To a whole nother problem though, because sometimes the professors don't want to grade online stuff. My class was online, and the professor was like, "I ain't doing it. Everybody gets an A."
Wow. I'm not gonna. Don't tell me what school you went to. I don't want. Don't say it. Don't say it. Oh, there's a lawsuit over. Yeah, that would be my luck. But I get it, right? And so if you over deliver, they want to know. Like I had somebody questioning why they got a certain percentage on their grade. I'm like, you didn't do the assignment. I asked you for this. You gave me that. You gave me a bunch of this, and I told you what it was. So my feedback was why you got the 85. Now you want an explanation why you got the 85. No, we're not going back and forth. That's your grade. Move forward. And we're talking one grade in week 1. That's worth maybe 20% of your grade, and it's like one of 8 or 9 in that. Like, come on. It's like nobody can say you're not perfect. They get upset. I want to know why. Because I gave you 85 and that's it. Like, I don't really. I gave you a 90 and that's it. I gave you a 72 and that's it. Now, if you want me to, you're going to feel bad because then I'm going to have to go this one, 1 point, this one, 1 point, this one, 1 point, this one. And if you really want to look at 15 different things, 20 different things, 37 different things that you did wrong to get your grade, well, okay. But I like to start out general in the beginning, and then as you go into the course, be more specific so I can kind of guide you. But day one, week one, in an 8 or 15 week course that literally has dozens of assignments, that one grade ain't gonna change you either way. I mean, unless it's your final. Then that might, it depends on so many other things. But that's where higher ed is going. And I don't necessarily know if we're going to be able to sustain it with less kids being born. Therefore, less kids are going to school, which is kind of the issue they have in HBCU. So, it's kind of unfortunate, but what I'm saying, it is what it is. I don't really, I don't know how we're going to do it. Between higher education and K-12 in Milwaukee, it's going to be an interesting 4 or 5 years. It's going to be an interesting 4 to 5 years. Fall 2025 is the time the cliff is going to hit higher education. And that means it's going to be, I think it's going to be more important that students go to school and go to college. It's going to be more important that they make sure they major in those things, that infrastructure, technology, AI, all those things that are going to come in the future, that they take care of those things now. Because if they don't, they are literally going to be on the outside looking in. And you know, if you work in construction, all your supervisors don't look like you. And all the folks that started working in construction started working before you. So even if you go to college and go work somewhere, they worked in construction during college. So when you get out, they're your boss. And you never quite make it to the top. Interesting how that works. Since 1865, same stuff.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Get ready for a breath of fresh air with Community Heartbeat, your go-to show for health and wellness in our vibrant city. Presented by Outreach Community Health Centers and hosted by me, Sherwin Hughes. Tune in this Saturday at 10 a.m. as we take you on a journey toward a healthier Milwaukee. Community Heartbeat is not just a show, it's a movement dedicated to bringing our community together through wellness. We've got expert interviews, inspiring stories, and the inside scoop on local events from Outreach Community Health Centers that will keep your heart pumping with positivity.
My name is Anton Moore. Around here, we have hardworking people that just need a break. Whether it's investing in small businesses or making housing affordable, Vice President Harris gets it.
Kamala Harris is making sure black men have the tools to build generational wealth. She'll put a policy in place that gives 1 million forgivable loans to help entrepreneurs, including black entrepreneurs, start their own businesses. She also plans to give $25,000 in down payment assistance for first-time homeowners and crack down on racial bias in home appraisals. Harris's plan will help black men own more assets so we can build long-term wealth.
This is what an investment in my community looks like. We're trying to build generational wealth. No get-rich-quick schemes, no scams, no one-time check, none of that. Vice President Harris got our back. I'll be there on November 5th. Will you be there?
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
The Greater Milwaukee Urban League Ball is sold out, but you can still join in the fun and support the work of the Urban League. Participate in a special online silent auction of great prizes and experiences. Auction items include a night at Milwaukee St. Kate Hotel, an autographed Packers football, baseball, hockey, and soccer tickets, and a special evening at Lake Park Bistro. Go to the Urban League's website and click on the black and white ball tab. Visit tmul.org. Let the bidding begin.
The WIAA football playoffs is here. We have a huge battle this Friday night as the number 1 seeded Marquette Hilltoppers take on the number 4 seeded De Pere Redbirds. The football action kicks off at 7 p.m. on 1017 The Truth. Marquette University High School football is presented by Gruber Law Offices and sponsored by Capital Insurance Agency, Magic Productions, Annex Wealth Management, C.G. Schmidt, Leff's Lucky Town, Boyle Frederickson Intellectual Property Law, and Marquette University High School.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They treated me like family.
They're actually people that you can depend on.
They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like family, caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Everybody's upset in the talking text line. See, Wayne, now you didn't like triggered something, and now I got to look over the weekend if online education is outpacing in person. I got to take a look at that. But I think it's more important to know why it's outpacing. You know what I'm saying? It's more important to know why it's outpacing rather than, hey, it's online, because just because people are using online doesn't mean they want to, and it's sustainable. I think we found out that online education is not sustainable except in certain circumstances. If I need to graduate and I need a couple classes, I need to hurry, then I'll do that, right? I'll double up and take an online class while I'm taking in-person classes. I don't know if I could take a whole, 5 classes online. That would just drive me up a wall. I don't know if I could do that. I'd be like, where's Dr. Ken? I'm sitting in the corner in the dark. He's losing it because, it's Thursday and he's got to cut up. But yeah, it's just, I got to look into it because tomorrow the month starts, education, right? And also tomorrow, if all goes right, we'll have Truth Roundtable. So we get to talk about the election stuff. We get to talk about all the things that are going on in the news tomorrow. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Tori Lowe Show is coming up. You can jump online and at 1017thetruth.com and check out, what's the name of that show again? That Thursday night show that come on all the time with that Ben dude, that Ben Jamin guy, and the Carrie Noni Juice. What's the name of that show again? What's the name of it? What's the name of it? Jammin'? So Ben Jammin' and Carrie Noni Juice. Oh yeah, Jammin' with Juice. That's gonna be on YouTube. So make sure you check it out right here. 6 o'clock. Hey, God bless. Take care. Had a great time. Thanks for your call, Al, and I will see you in 22 hours. Hey, Jason, appreciate you, brother. God bless. Take care. Hey, that cheeseburger was on point. I'm just saying. Saved my life. I'm out.